What's up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button, y'all. I really do appreciate it. Well, season 15's regular season is over, and what a wonderful season it was overall. Had a lot of new teams that actually shine brightly. You know, they didn't fall by the wayside like some people said they would, and we had some other teams that were thought to be able to make the playoffs and everything. They just missed it by that much. So, be happy to bring that to you later on in the podcast. But for now, I have my SFL chat around the water cooler featuring all the top performances for this week. Also, a little bit more about SFLN, which is coming up next week. And then I will have my Week 12 review, my picks for the wild card games that are happening on Sunday, and then my fourth and goal interview featuring Benji Madsen and Zach Turner for the London Nights. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, and we are back with SFL Chat around the water cooler. Here are the top performances for Week 12. I have, on the offensive side of the ball, Angus McLean for London with 33 completions out of 49 attempts, 437 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and his longest pass was 61 yards, I should say. Fox Highland for London had 8 catches, 195 yards, 24.4 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns, and his longest carry was 61 yards. Heath McDaniels Jr. for Carolina had 6 catches, 170 yards, averaged 28 yards per catch, went 3 touchdowns and 75 long. James Tobin for Chicago had 7 catches with 163 yards, 23 yards per catch with 2 touchdowns and went 73 long. Matt Mara for the Baltimore Vultures had 8 catches, 178 yards, went 22 yards per catch, 1 touchdown, and 53 long. And Phoenix Jones for Mexico City had 13 carries, 199 yards, 15 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, and 75 long. He also had 2 catches of 14 yards, 7 yards per catch with 1 touchdown and 7 long. On the defensive side of things, we had Aquanta Shine for Atlanta with 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, and 2 interceptions for 59 yards and 1 touchdown. Chris Cologne for Carolina had 4 tackles, 1 sack, 4 tackles for loss. Thomas Smith for the Lone Star Glory had 2 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception, and 30 yards, and 1 touchdown as well. Nick Fargo for Sioux Falls had 8 tackles, 6 tackles for loss. Marlon Marshall for Denver had 5 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 pass deflection, while Mark Lopez for Vancouver had 8 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 20 yards. Lee Adama had 6 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. Lee Adama plays for Denver, and Jack Brown plays for the Charleston Predators, and he had 18 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 pass deflection. Clay Jones for the Jacksonville Kings had 17 tackles with 2 tackles for loss and 2 pass deflections, while Tank Bennett for Louisiana had 20 tackles, 100, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, and 1 interception. Ben Stackenpaper for Baltimore had 11 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 2 interceptions, 61 yards, and 1 touchdown. Mel Davis for Portland had 18 tackles and 1 pass deflection, and Delaney Nash for the Fort Worth Toros had 4 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 2 interceptions, and 12 yards. Y'all been busy, huh? And special teams includes Jacob McCall for Arizona Scorpions had 6 kick returns for 229 yards and 1 pick 6. His longest reception was 104 yards. and Cole Varner from Mexico City, going 4 for 4 and 53 longs. So, congratulations, y'all. Had a fantastic week. It's been a great season, as I spoke of earlier, and I wish y'all nothing but the best. All right? And if you want to get your player on the field before the regular season, you can get your player locked and loaded today through our Discord server and for the SFL minor leagues. Now we have 12 teams that are having the opportunity to allow you to be the player that you've always wanted to be. Whether you wanted to do it, when you were little and you never got a chance to, it's great just being able to hear your name called out on the field like that. If you are interested in joining the SFLM, I would encourage you to join our Discord community through www.simulationfl.net today and speak to Commissioner Deputy Andrew Rasticelli for more information on this. And SFLM actually starts next week, so it's going to be some interesting ball to watch, along with our wild card, playoff games, and our championship games. I will have all of that coming up for you, along with my Week 12 review coming right up. All right, so this is Week 12's review. Now, Ashley's picks. I went 8-3 this week. There are definitely a couple surprises that I wound up getting wrong that I was very surprised by, and we're going to get into that in a second. But just as a recap, I went 5-6 week 2, 5-6 week 3, 8-3 for week 4, 5-6 for week 5, 6-5 for week 6, 5-6 for week 7, 9-2 for week 8, 7-4 for week 9, 6-5 for week 10, 9-2 for week 11, and ended things off at 8-3 for week 12. So I had 73 right and 48 wrong this whole season. So it's getting a lot better, because I remember there was a time where it was more in the wrong column than it was in the right column. So I guess having that better understanding of the game and the teams and everything does help. But this is how week 12 shaped up. The Portland Fleet took on the Fort Worth Toros, and Fort Worth won 26-3. Player of the game was Xander Gold with 32 completions for 40 attempts, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 97.2 quarterback rating. On the third as well, the London Knights took on the Carolina Skyhawks, and Skyhawks won 36-41. I was right about both of those games, by the way. Sully Richardson was the player of the game for Carolina with 30 completions, 38 attempts, 376 yards, and 5 touchdowns, 2 rushing yards. Also on the third, the Lone Star Glory took on the Chicago Wildcats, and Lone Star won. I was right about this game. Player of the game was Ace Finnick with 24 completions out of 31 attempts, 219 yards with 2 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 104.1. Also on the third, the Atlanta Swarm took on the Queen City Corsairs, and Queen City won. I was wrong about this game. This is one that I was actually surprised I was. But Queen City is a great team. They're one of the cornerstones of the league, and they've already won 4 championships, the most in the league ever. So, gotta give them kudos on that. Player of the game was AJ Caswell with 32 completions for 46 attempts, 324 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 rushing yards. Also on the third, the Las Vegas Fury took on the Mexico City Aztecs, and Mexico City won 47-10. I was also wrong about this game. Player of the game was Phoenix Jones with 13 attempts, 199 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 14 reception yards, and 1 reception touchdown. Lastly, on the third, the Sioux Falls Sparrows took on the St. Louis Gladiators, and Sioux Falls won. I was right about this game. They won their game 39-7. Player of the game was Colin Hart. I think, Colin, you have been the player of the game pretty much all season, so congratulations. He had 23 carries for 209 yards, 9 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns, and yeah. On the 4th, Tulsa Desperados took on the Denver Nightwings, and Denver won 37-3. I was right about this game. Player of the game was Jared McChesney, having 18 attempts with 65 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 reception yards and 1 reception touchdown. On the 4th, the Houston Hyenas took on the Vancouver Legion, and Vancouver won in a really big way, in a record-breaking way at that, 76-13. Tom Pepper, and I was right about that game, by the way. Tom Pepper was the player of the game for Vancouver with 34 completions out of 41 attempts, 541 yards, 6 touchdowns. And his quarterback rating is 138.0. Nice. Also on the 4th, the Charleston Predators took on the Jacksonville Kings, and Jacksonville won 17-7. Player of the game was Clay Jones, having 4 tackles and 2 pass deflections. And, for player of the game, you don't often see defensive members getting that award. So, congratulations for you. Or to you, I should say. On the 5th, which was Monday, the Louisiana Revolution took on the Florida Storm. And Florida won 24-14, and I was right about this game. Player of the game was J.W. Doyle. 30 attempts, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 46 reception yards. And last game of the season, the regular season, I should say. The Arizona Scorpions took on the Baltimore Vultures, and Baltimore won. This is one of the ones I could have sworn we was going to win, but
that is not correct.
We're playing Baltimore at home. They are pretty much undefeated at home, but I am not going to go against my team ever. So we did lose that game, 44-27. No! And it was a tough loss for everybody, because that was, if we would have won that game, we would have been in the playoffs. So a lot of consoling going on in the locker room, but we also realized that, hey, we played a fantastic season in comparison to last season when we first started. So, hey, we take the bumps and bruises and just come back stronger next season. But player of the game was Jack Wigmore for 30 completions, 39 attempts, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 53 longs. So congratulations to all the teams that made the playoffs, to all the teams that won their games. Great season. And I was truly happy to be a part of it. Next up, I have my picks for the wild card games that will be happening this Sunday. All right, so the wild card round includes Atlanta taking on Vancouver Sunday, October the 11th at 2:30 p.m. on 11 Sports Network and For the Fans. I am going to go with Atlanta. Now, Vancouver has actually been on a very good run. I will say that. I mean, they just won by 60 points in the last game. I think 40-something points in the other one. But I just think that the defending champions are actually going to take this win. We'll see how it goes. Houston will be taking on Jacksonville Kings on Sunday, October the 11th as well at 4:30 Eastern. And that will be on 11 Sports Network and For the Fans as well. I am going to go with the Jacksonville Kings on this one. Houston just made it to the playoffs with the Arizona loss. But Jacksonville is one of those teams that's one of a cornerstone. They used to be the former Tallahassee Pride. I think that Jacksonville will have maybe a slightly better game plan than them, and they're going to actually propel themselves forward. And last but not least, on Sunday, October the 11th, 6:30 p.m. on 11 Sports and For the Fans Network, the Lone Star Glory will be taking on the Florida Storm. And I'm going to go with experience on this one as well. I'm going to go with Florida. Lone Star Glory has had a fantastic season. I cannot take anything away from them. But again, when you're going against veterans in the league that's been around for a very long time, they tend to outshine everyone else, especially during this time, because Florida, which was the Alaska Storm, and Jacksonville, which was the Tallahassee Pride, they have often been in championships together. They've often seen the playoffs, so I feel like they have more of an advantage because they've been in this position so often. Although I have never seen these two teams as wild card teams. They're usually higher in the standings. People evolve, people get better. But I still think that Atlanta, Jacksonville, and Florida will be the winners of the wild card round. So I will be happy to let you know the outcome of that next week. But for now, I have my fourth and goal interview with Zach and Benji coming right up. All right, and welcome back to my fourth and goal interview for the end of season 15. Man, what a week, what a season it was, I should say. One of my guests for this evening is actually Mr. Defensive Tackle of the London Knights, Zach Turner. Well, I should say Zach the Burner Turner.
Yeah.
How you doing,
Yep.
man?
Doing great. Just happy to be here.
Man, I'm glad you're back. I've been kind of following all the rookies that I interviewed initially, like before you got in the league, and when you were in the SFLMs, and then when you got drafted and everything, and now you're actually a player on the field, a goal player at that. So how does that feel?
It's been an emotional roller coaster because you look back and it's rookie year, you didn't expect it to go by fast. And I realize I'm about to enter like my sophomore season or whatever, about to become a veteran, and it just seems too real. Like for these, like I didn't realize how fast rookie year comes and goes. Like I still feel like 2 days ago I got drafted, and now what the season's over with. It flew by so quick. Already in October too.
Absolutely. It does go by fast, and I'm sure you've learned a lot in your first season. Do you want to share with the audience? First of all, I just want to let you know that we do have a whole new audience that's listening. We have a radio audience as well. So, if you don't mind, just give us a brief overview of yourself, like your hometown, your age, some interesting facts, and your favorite NFL team.
Okay, so my name's Zachary Watson Turner. I was born in Athens, Alabama. I live in the Tuscaloosa slash Clear area. I play football, trying to get into UC or boxing. I'm 18 years old. Uh, my favorite NFL team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, number one, 3-0. Second, I'd be the Niners. But what I rep the most is probably knows this if they look at the sports chat and the SSFL is my Alabama stuff. I have Tua's fat head. I've all like my whole room is just coated in Alabama. I have like 10 sweatshirts, 10 sweatpants. The elephant mask that I wore when I got drafted, as a matter of fact, is a thing from the University of Alabama, and I got it's just unbelievable. And an Alabama beanbag and a TV set.
Oh,
So
well, you're
and
Alabama
socks.
out, huh?
Yeah, I got so much. I could probably make people clothes for about a week with probably almost a month with all the Alabama stuff I have.
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, you showing love for your favorite team, so I mean, nobody can be mad at that.
Yeah, ripping them
Yeah.
out to the finals. And a season ticket holder. Go to
See,
all the games. All the
hey,
games.
perfect fan right here. Alabama fans, y'all better take heed. He's a perfect example. So let's talk a little bit about your season, man. So unfortunately, it ended for London Knights. Y'all had a few good games. A lot of people were counting you out in certain games, and you showed them wrong. So how did it feel to just be able to prove the community wrong when they had all of those bets against you?
Oh, it felt great. I used the people when people say so and so like they make you the underdog. I use that. I get that underdog mentality and use all those stuff they're saying for motivation, which ended up eventually pushing our team harder. The guys, we were motivated when people weren't saying that we were going to like lose by 40 or whatever. We were just motivated in the locker room. We came out ready to play.
Hmm.
That's how it worked. Just motivation all the time.
Yeah. Let your haters be your motivators. I get that. But it looks like you had 32 tackles to end the season off with, 12 assists, 10 sacks, and one half sack. Man, that's impressive. 10 sacks for your rookie year, your
Yes,
rookie
ma'am.
season? Yeah,
For a
man.
6th round pick, I say that's pretty good.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So, overall, how would you encompass your first season? Just kind of bring it all together for us because you've been through the whole process of getting drafted and all of that good stuff. So just let our listeners know how you're feeling right now.
All right. So how I'm feeling right now, excited. You flash back. I'm gonna recap here for y'all a little bit. When I first got drafted, not a lot of teams. And this is to guys that come in. There's going to be guys like me that come in into the spot like I was in that joined late. They couldn't get in the minors. For you guys that does happen to, you just can't count yourself out. Like that's why I was extremely motivated, and that's how I probably got my name called because I was constantly DMing GMs because I didn't have film that some of these other guys had. These other guys had highlights. They could just send it to a guy and the guy could tell you if they wanted you or not. For me, the GMs would ask, why should I select you when you don't have any highlights? So I remember all that, putting my stuff out there, saying I'm motivated. I'm a great asset to the locker room. I'm a winner. I want to win at all costs. Like how Tom Brady is. And then flash back up to
Example.
when I got, yeah, flashback to when I got drafted by London. Dropped my phone. Didn't realize Liam was calling. Liam told me it's going to be an international number. So I'm like, what about spam calls? He's like, oh, you'll know it. I'm like, but what if it's a spam call? And so I'm luckily I realized I made the common sense to pick it up, but no one knew this. So I'm gonna. You probably don't know this either. So I'm gonna drop a fact right here. During that draft, New Mexico contacted me before London. If
Mhm.
London didn't pick me up, I would have been drafted to New Mexico or no Mexico City. Or I forgot the team name, but they were
Yeah,
going to
Aztecs.
draft me. Yeah, the
Mhm.
Aztecs. They said they were going to draft me in the 6th round at wide receiver when their pick was on the board. So I didn't expect Liam to call that day. So then you flash back to the game, flash forward, first game, awesome, great, so excited. Then a couple weeks flash by. 2 weeks ago, the 4 sacks game, the game where I got 4 sacks, probably one of the best games of my season. Uh, it was just awesome to see how far I've come and see my player grow on the field and see how better my players came. I came from a 6th round pick, and like the people said when I had those 4 sacks, talent's everywhere. It's kind of like you think of it, the SFL draft's kind of like the NFL draft. You get sleeper picks all the time in the later rounds. You just got to look right and you'll find them. I got lucky. I got put on London, had a huge impact as a DT. Thank my teammates, and I'm so excited to where I'm at right now. It's just unbelievable. It sucks we're out of the playoffs, but I remember when we got eliminated. But I'm looking forward to next season wherever I go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, segueing into that, do you plan to stay with London, or you kind of want to test free agency, see what's out there? What are your plans?
On my plans, so some of the things on my plans is I really don't know.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna hear London out. See what they're gonna offer me. It's a respectful thing to do. I should allow them to hear the contract. Do I want to test free agency? Of course, probably every rookie wants to, but I feel like I'm at risk if I do taste free agency. I'm
Yeah.
not willing to come back to London because they said if you test free agency, I can't guarantee you a spot. And what I've felt like I've given to that team, I just kind of hurts a little bit. I kind of feel like I can't, like they're not encouraging me to take a GM spot. And don't get me wrong, so much respect for Liam and Tanner. Love them guys to death. Love the management there. I'm not going to disrespect them. Respect. I just kind of feel, you know, kind of not pleasant. They're not encouraging me. Instead of saying, "I hope you do well." Oh, he said good luck, but he after he said good luck, he's like, I can't promise you I'm gonna resign you. And it kind of, and then when I talked with uh with Liam about what value he plans to sign me back at, because I kind of would like to know. And I know uh they have to plan out, but he never responded to me for about a week. And I texted him the 5th, and he still just hasn't DM'd me back. And I tried to, like, during the season, I tried to contact them, and I really didn't get a lot of responses from them. So, I just feel like the activity thing is there, and I feel like if they see this shut up, which I don't want this part to be edited out. If they choose over this show not to re-sign me, then I'm just gonna say that's their loss, because I want to play for a team that wants me for who I am, who's going to encourage me to move up in management.
Now, with that, I totally agree with you. The thing is, every GM, every owner should, if someone expresses interests in doing other things, I think that is very important for you to support that, because somebody supported you when you wanted to be a GM. Somebody supported you when you wanted to be an owner. And if, I understand retention, everybody wants to keep their team together, all of that. That's good. But I also think that you should be very supportive of people when they want to do something more positive in the community, like being a GM, like showing off their talent in other aspects. Because it's cool to be a player, but then when you get deep, when you delve deep down into being the owner and being a GM, looking at things from the draft side of things, when you're trying to talk to over 200 rookies and trying to fill your positions, that's exciting in itself. I personally hope that you go and you know that whatever you decide to do, that's on you. But I do encourage you to live out your dream, man. If somebody wants to do that for you, hire you as a GM, cool, man. Because um, things can be taught. I came in with no knowledge of being a GM, but Eddie was good enough to teach me what I needed to know. And now I feel like I'm pretty good at it. So it's about what you want to learn, your enthusiasm. And back to when you were in the league, when you first joined the league, you hit up everybody. I literally watched you in chat talking to everybody that would listen to you. You even hit me up a few times. It's like, Zach, if I had the room, I promise you, man. But that shows the encouragement. That shows the love that you had for this league and for what you wanted to do. So kudos to you, man. I do hope that things work out for you. But listen, you got 10 sacks as a rookie and 1/2 sack. Listen, if they want to sleep, then they're gonna miss out. Because somebody needs that. I'm telling you right now. But I just kind of want to touch bases on, did you want to do anything else besides being a GM? Like, did you want to try out for the broadcast crew? Did you want to try out for beat writing? Did you want to do anything of that nature?
Yes, I would like to do broadcast or beat writer. I kind of am fascinated reading some of the articles, and sometimes I'm like, see, like that's the thing is with me. I like when I do something, I don't settle for good enough. I try to settle for perfection. So that's another reason why I want to do as many things I can in this league,
Right.
like make new friends. In fact, out you guys the guy that just appointed a new GM. That dude's my friend in another league. I mean, him been bonding real close. So it turns I just know everybody. I feel like
You probably do, because like I said, you definitely talk to everybody. So, but I remember when I was a rookie, I did the same thing. I came in and I literally was in the chat pretty much like all the time. I talked to anybody, every owner, every GM, and I wanted to let them know that I was serious. So you're definitely on the right path, man. And I really appreciate you for coming out and, spending some time with me, Zach, and letting us know how you feel, how you're doing and everything. And I've been watching you. You've been doing a great job. So
yes, ma'am.
kudos to you. Kudos. And hopefully, if you have some time, however this situation works out for you, you come back, share with us how everything worked out. One thing I do want to ask you though, and before I let you go, is can you describe what London's locker room is like? Because I see certain people are out in chat, but it seems like it's kind of a quiet group. What is their locker room
Yeah,
like?
it's a quiet group.
Okay.
See, with me, I'm an energetic guy. I like to talk to people. When I see the locker room is kind of not very talkative, I kind of get sad because I'm like, I bring the positivity energy. I like to talk to people. So when I see them get active, like example, they may have texted, but there's maybe 2 messages a day in the locker room, which is really not a lot. I wouldn't know what other teams have.
Mhm.
One time there was they didn't talk for about 3 days in the locker room. So and sometimes not some of the rookies one of the rookies we drafted, Eric Surratt, just like left playing out of the blue, and when he left, we didn't know why he left. I never figured out why he left. He was alongside me, and me and him were like doing sacking people together, and he just he left, and they didn't tell us why he left. They said then he never told anyone. I think we've had 2 rookies that have just like left the league completely. So I don't know if there's something with London going on that I don't know about,
Yeah.
and they're not telling the team. But at the same time, it's just the activity. I feel like it could be a whole lot active, and that's one of the play. That's one of the things that's playing the factor of wanting me to leave. Because I remember when I first got drafted, I told whoever the team I got drafted to, I was going to play like my career out there. But like I still mean that. I still want to play a career out on the team. It's hard, very hard and difficult with London right now. If that activity is not going to get better, and the new GM that was appointed, Chad, I
Mhm.
love him. But I've heard things about he's a great. I know I've heard, and I'm not going to believe all these reports. Some people have said that I personally he's a great guy, but a bunch of people I've known that have been in the league that are very experienced in the league. I'm not going to mention any names because I'm
Mhm.
not trying to start drama. Have
Mhm.
told me he can't keep a locker room active. So that's playing another. I don't believe, I'm not going to believe what people tell me. I'm going to have to figure out for myself.
Yeah, you got to give
If
people a
you,
chance. Yeah.
yeah, I always believe give people a chance before you judge them. But if that's the case and that is true, then it's going to be difficult for me not to want to leave because locker room activity plays a key part in team success because if you don't have that locker room chemistry, you're not going to have guys that want to stay and play there.
Well said. Well said, sir. Well, thank you, Zach, for being on the show, for sharing a little bit about what you're going through, man. And I do wish you the best of luck. But before I let you go, I got to give you the last word. So that can be a shout out, that can be a song, that can be a poem. Right now, the floor is yours.
Shout out. That's what. Shout out. That's what. Do I say the shout out or you say the shout out? I'm confused.
You can say shout outs,
uh,
whatever you want.
Shout out to the London Black Knights on the season. Yeah, it came up short. Man, Benji. I'm gonna do another for Benji too because he's next on the show.
Mhm.
Benji, it's been fun being your teammate as well as all the rookies that are on London. I love everything you've done for the team. You're a great guy. You got a big future, bright future ahead of you in the SFL. I can't wait to see what you accomplish and what us fellow rookies that are on London right now accomplish. Keep doing what you're doing, Benji,
All
and
right.
just keep being. And that's about it.
Oh, well, thank you, Zach. Remember, you always got a spot on my show. Whenever you want to come back, just let me know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have
Thank
a
you.
good one. You're welcome.
You too.
All right. Bye. All right. And my second interview tonight features Mr. Tight end of the London Knight, Benji Matson. How you doing?
Hello, Ashley. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Great to meet you finally.
I know. It's been a
Yes,
while.
it has
Better late than
been.
never.
Exactly. There you go. I love it. I love it. So we do have a bunch of new listeners that are tuning in on the radio and everything like that. So I'd like for you to give us a little bit of information about yourself. So that is your hometown, age if you want to. Let's see, some interesting facts and your favorite NFL team.
Sure. Hello, everyone out there. Benji Matson. I am a young 44 years of age. I grew up in a small town in the central part of Kansas, Sterling, Kansas. I live in Omaha, Nebraska at the moment. Live in Cornhuskerville, but I'm a diehard Jayhawk. Have a lovely family, 4 boys ranging in age from 8 months to 6 years. Have a couple of twins in there. One pair of twins, not a couple pairs of twins. one pair of twins. So that's kind of the background info on me. This was my first year in the SFL.
And so how did you enjoy your first year?
I enjoyed my first year in the SFL. It went by pretty quickly. Minor leagues are starting this week. I know that when your podcast comes out, everyone will be getting ready for the second season of the SFLM. And I was lucky enough to cut my teeth in the first league this past spring. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed that first foray into the minor leagues and this past season, but it did go by very quickly. I can't believe it. We're already in the playoffs. Of course, London is already in the lab working on next season, but it was a fantastic first season.
Wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I noticed that you are a tight end. So and I noticed that you don't have any stats as a tight end. So would you like to kind of explain why that is?
I have some stats.
Wait, hold on. Let me just double check.
I have a few stats.
I may be looking in the wrong area. So hold on 1 second. I got you.
No, you're probably not. I don't have very many stats. It's okay. We can move on. I bring so much more to the table, Ashley.
I believe that.
So I did move the chains a few times this season. I was a draft pick of the London Nights, and I did play tight end. We had 2 tight ends on the squad this season, so I was tight end number 2 for the team.
Okay, so that would explain why normally, and it's unfortunate that the AI only selects one. Usually it's the higher ranked one to give all the passes to if everything happens. But I'm glad that you're a good sport about it,
Yeah, absolutely. SFL is it's about much more than what happens on the field. So that's just a part of it. But there's so much more that makes it such a great experience. So I was very happy to be a part of my season with the Knights. It was awesome.
Awesome. So tell me, what inspired you to become a player in the first place?
Sure. When COVID hit, this story is familiar with so many people, I'm sure. When COVID hit, things got really crazy. And then personally for me at work, I was having to pull double duty for work. So 60 to 70 hours a week on top of my family. And those responsibilities at home, I kind of just started to go a bit stir crazy and I was losing my mind a little bit. And there was one night that I had something due into work first thing in the morning. I had to pull an all-nighter. And I remember taking a break in the middle of the night, and my home office is kind of a closet, which I'm in right now. Keep it nice and dark so you can't see the mess. But I had some of my old equipment out, and I had just by chance, I had my old copy of All Pro Football sitting out, visible, and I took my break, and I saw it there, and I thought, you know what? Let's just Google All Pro Football. I didn't know if anyone played it anymore, if the servers were still online, but I played it all the time when it first came out. So I Googled All Pro Football, and one of the first results I got was actually a fantastic article written about, not necessarily the SFL, but about All Pro Football. And I cannot remember the exact title, but it was something about the heroes that keep All Pro Football alive. And it was a short, fun read. But at the end of that, they talked about the SFL. They had a direct link to like the YouTube page. And I was intrigued, so I clicked right away, landed on the YouTube page before the website. So, of course, I started firing up some videos. And, of course, I'm blown away when the very first thing I see is, good old All Pro Football, but the custom graphics on the screen, the broadcasting going on. And I quickly wondered what it was I was looking at. So I did some extra research. I found the website. I think I watched clips of a few games that night. I had it on one monitor while I was doing my work all night long. So I was really enjoying it. It was keeping me company. And then I checked out the website, read up, found out about Discord. I hopped right in, and it was just a few hours, really, from the moment I first learned about it to the moment I pulled the trigger. And the SFL has been taking my money since then. Came along, though, too, at a really great time. I know for so many of us kind of share the same story. It was really a kind of an outlet or release when things were really crazy. And I didn't really know if it was something I was going to get super involved in, but it sure did look like fun. And so it's been a bit of a lifesaver in a strange way, too. So it helps keep your mind off all the craziness out there and gives you something constructive to do. And for someone like myself, it allows me an opportunity to be creative in a way that I haven't really been able to be or do for quite a while, too. So some of the things I'm able to do in and around the league are fun, help keep me going. So that's kind of how I stumbled upon the SFL.
Okay, so segueing into that, what do you do besides be a player for the SFL?
Sure, I'm on the broadcast team, and I'm enjoying that tremendously. On the stats team, too. Help out when I can. And then I am the director of communications for London.
Oh, see, I love it. Delving deep, getting into things. That's how to do it, to really get that full experience. So going to stats and broadcasting, how did you enjoy doing that? I mean, I tried it, and I have work to do, but what are your thoughts on being a broadcaster and a statistician for the league?
Well, I think that a number of people have touched, even on your show, about how the opportunity to broadcast is something that maybe they always wanted to do, but didn't ever have the chance to do that. And I never broadcast sports. I didn't do live play-by-play when I was younger, but I've been involved in TV and radio before. So just some of the behind-the-scenes things I'm familiar with, and just the performance aspect that goes in the broadcasting, I'm familiar with. That's a part of my background too. So when that was one of the first things too that got me in that door, when I saw the production value that Cam and team brought to the live streams. I thought that was just incredible. So of course I wanted to check that out, and it wasn't too soon in the server I saw the advertisement for the SFLM season coming up, looking for broadcasters. So I applied and wanted to give that a shot. And I had never done sports play-by-play before, so it was a learning experience, and that was a great opportunity to get that experience in the SFLM. Found out it's something I really do enjoy, and so I'm having a great time doing that. Stats, I think, just came along. There was a moment or two when the team was short, and I just volunteered. I wanted to help out. That's also one of the great things about the league, is their great helpful spirit among everyone across the teams. And so I just volunteered to sit in and help out. And actually, that's also something I really enjoy. I don't know why. Some people might not understand how that's a lot of fun, sitting down there in the stats truck, but it is. So that's a great opportunity to also, if you're interested in broadcasting or how that stuff works behind the scenes, getting involved with the stat team is a fantastic way to witness what goes on with those productions. And you get such a different view of the SFL and what goes into those productions behind the scenes, with helping with the stats team. So it's just another way to help out, another call to action for those of you out there looking for something to do. The stats team needs help right now too, and they're taking applications for the broadcast team as well. So if that's something that anyone's ever wanted to do, now's your chance. With the minor league starting up, hop right in, see what you got. It's a fantastic venue to test things out and see what works. And so very glad to have had the opportunity to do those things. Hope to continue to do those for the league.
Okay. So Benji, what are your plans for the future? Do you plan on staying with the London Knights? Do you plan on testing free agency? Are you still kind of undecided about what you want to do?
That's a great question. It was difficult sitting on the bench, I think, for that first season. But of course, everyone joins the league. They want to play. I have a fantastic group of players and friends with the London Knights, and that we've been making some waves here early in the off season. So things are trending up for the Knights. And I think that I was not expecting the the phone to ring like it did right off the bat when the regular season ended. So I was caught off guard by some teams expressing some interest. I really hadn't thought about it. So London's been making some changes and looking toward the future, and I'm happy to be a part of that. I just tell everyone I'm going to keep my options open. I'm talking with London. I really love the direction we're going. Liam is awesome. Tanner's a fantastic, now no longer a general manager, but Tanner Hendricks is operating as the director of football operations. We bought Chad Rowland back. So there's a great core team on the Knights, and I'm really excited to be a part of that team. And so I think that for the future, we'll see what happens, but I'm excited and proud to be a Knight right now.
And that is absolutely wonderful. You know, I try to get everybody's interest. Looks like I have a little supporter here that decided he wanted
Junior
to.
host.
There you go. I guess.
Do you have a question? Do you want to ask a question?
Do you have a question to ask?
Yes.
What is your question?
Okay, now he's shy, right? But Benji, so that's all, you know, very, very good stuff. What do you see yourself in 5 years though, in the league and in life?
Well, in life, I'm able to do a lot for the SFL right now. I think it's just because I'm in a very unique season of life. I'm a bit of an older parent, but my kids are young, so I'm already kind of tied to the house, so to speak. I can't get out and do anything. I've got a baby at home, and my wife and I also care for my mother-in-law in home too. So we have a lot of life challenges, but it also kind of fits with the SFL. So right now I have the time to participate and to do these things now for the league. In 5 years, I don't know. Hopefully in 5 years, my boys are playing football. They're on the field, and I'll have the opportunity to coach them. I still hope to be involved in the SFL. I'm intrigued by the idea of owning a team. Definitely already, even though this was the first season for me in the league, I have tossed around that idea. We have expansion coming up. So that's been something too that I creatively have been mulling over in the back of my mind too. Whether or not this is the right time for that, I haven't really quite decided, especially with the changes we're making for the team. But I do think it would be a lot of fun in the future to own a team in the SFL. Whether or not that happens or not, we'll see. Maybe we'll wind up on London winning a ton of championships, and then I can retire and right off into the sunset at that point. But you just never know. Just keeping things open as far as the SFL goes, enjoying my time. And it's just kind of the perfect time for me to be involved.
Awesome. And when you told me that you actually have the game, that's a very, very important part of even being considered to be a coach or anything else, because they want you to have that experience, you know, in playing the game. And you said that you have, like that used to be a thing. So do you still hook it up every now and again?
Yep, I've got it up. I've got
Nice.
got all the equipment. I've got the box here and the game and the editor and all those things. And I'm enjoying those things. Football has always been a passion of mine. Played football all through college, coached as well after college. And so not being a part of that team, not playing football, as you know, I didn't notice how much I missed it. I didn't know how much I missed being a part of a locker room, having that feeling of competing, even though it's it's the SFL, it's all pro football. Still, there's that essence of competition, game planning, strategy, matching up with your opponent. May the best man or woman win. So that is something I didn't realize I missed. And so it's also one of the reasons I've been so excited to be a part of the SFL, because it's scratching that itch. And I've heard so many people talk about that too. You can't compete anymore on the field. The SFL provides fantastic opportunity for you to continue competing in something that you are passionate about. So I think that if when that time comes, it'll be those types of experiences that I have in my past, those things that I like to do that I would bring forward into my time, possibly coaching and owning in the SFL in the future.
All right. Well, listen, I wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors. It has been a pleasure to hear you, and I still have access to the stats channel. So I have been seeing you, volunteer and
Yep.
every chance you get for all of that. So keep up the good work, Benji, and I wish you the best. But before I let you go, I'm going to give you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or that can be just a simple shout out to whomever you want. Right now, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Miss Ashley. Hey, I appreciate you and the time you put into the league too. I think that's really awesome. So I think so many of us enjoy listening to you, hearing your show, and you are one of the fantastic reasons that the SFL continues to grow and be popular. So thank you for what you do too. I'll just say to my London teammates, we had a blast in season 1. Looking forward to the future with everyone. And I'll just say, be kind, rewind. I think that in life, it's important to always remember where you came from, to be humble, and to help everyone along the way. So it shows my age a little bit, but my family used to rent those VHS tapes from Blockbuster before it was Blockbuster, and they always had those stickers on there that said, be kind, rewind.
I remember that too.
It always stuck with me, yeah.
I remember that too.
So I think it's just stay humble, stay hungry, but always kind of remember where you came from and help everyone along the way.
Awesome, Benji. Thank you so much for your time. And listen, you have a spot on the show whenever you want to come back. I'm right here, okay?
Yep. When I get some stats, I'll come back. We'll chat.
I told you that kind of stuff doesn't matter to me. I talk to everybody, and I think everybody has a voice, whether you're a fan, whether you have been on the bench, whether you're a star player, whether you're a coach or owner, whatever. You want to tell your story, feel free to come back and share it with us, because we're definitely here, okay?
Yep. I'd love to. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. See you soon.
Take care.
All right, and that is it. Thank you all so much for joining me this whole season. I do still plan on doing some podcasts for the off season and things like that. But I love doing these things, just recognizing everybody and all of that. It's very fun for me. So I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy bringing it to you. Special thanks goes out to Zach Turner and Benji Madsen for being on the show. Really appreciate your input, guys, and giving us a closer look into London. And looking forward to bringing you all another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all stay safe. Treat each other well. Striker